Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. The Jimmy Dore Show is the name of the channel. 1.67 million subscribers. Charlie Kirk. Google searches get even more suspicious. So I don't know if people have seen this already. It's been doing the rounds for a day or two, to be honest. This was on the Jimmy Dore show 11 hours ago. I seen this yesterday. I seen it and somebody sent me it as well. On WhatsApp, a lad I was talking to in the next town who I just sent him I sent him a message out of just randomly and said, "What do you make of the Charlie Kirk shooting?" Because he's kind of been on the ball as long as I have, to be honest. And right away he just mentioned Israel. Um, I kind of just I hadn't spoken to him for years, but I just passed him in when I was looking through my messages, and just on the off chance, send him a message saying, "What do you make of this?" And of course, he made dodginess of it because it looks real dodgy, as everyone knows at this point, and everything with Erica Kirk and his security team. A good point I seen yesterday. Somebody mentioned that Erica Kirk is still using the same security team. Now, that's strange in itself. Your husband's been absolutely assassinated in public here. The security team were fucking useless. And you're using the same security team that had you let your husband get publicly assassinated. Well, that's madness in itself, right there, isn't it? Absolute madness, and kind of proof that they were all in on it. Um, his team's in on it. Everybody's in on it. As somebody else once put, I heard them say yesterday, it's the Truman Show for Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was in the Truman Show. Everybody around him um, knew he was living a lie, and it was all a game, it was all a show, and it was always going this way for Charlie Kirk. Some would say, with what we're seeing from Erica Kirk, it's very, 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 very suspicious. And then this is even more suspicious as well, what Jimmy Dore and these people have come up with as well. So there's definite, and there's been a gagging order as well put on people about it. Well, I mean, that can just be before a trial, but apparently Candy Owens has said she's going to break it, but she's not necessarily covered by the gagging order because it's to do with the courts, I think. I don't know. There's all sorts flying around, to be honest. Well, let's have a look at this. Google searches. About Charlie Kirk, about Tyler Robinson, about various things to do with the case. Some things that's just too weird to be not connected. The searches wasn't even searches for Charlie Kirk, as you'll see.
Turns out there are more Google searches that are suspicious involving the Charlie Kirk assassination. And here's our good friend James Lee to let you know about him.
I'm about to show you a set of coincidences for you to ponder, but for my safety and your safety, please do not come to any conclusions. Deal? Cool. This is Tyler James Robinson, the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk, who a lot of us now know by name. But according to Google Trends, somebody, maybe multiple, in the DC metro area was searching for Tyler James Robinson one day before the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Okay, you see this big spike over here. That's on September 12th. That's when we all found out through the news who he was and started Googling his name. But this small spike on September 9th, that's kind of weird, don't you think? Now, what about the Losi Center, the building where Tyler Robinson allegedly shot Charlie Kirk from? Well, again, for some reason, a small number of people in the Washington, D.C. area was Googling Losi Center 2 days prior to Charlie Kirk's assassination, September 8th, 2025. What is that all about? Once again, this is when we all heard about it, and some group of people over here 2 days prior was, just having fun Googling Losi Center. Now, what about a Mauser 98? You've heard of that? Well, evidently there was pretty much no interest in the Mauser 98 until August 27th, when somebody, once again, in DC was like, I am curious about the Mauser 98. Once again, to reiterate, these are all just coincidences. And since this information has gone viral, people are now reporting that all of that data has now been scrubbed. And so this is what it looks like now. Nothing to see here. I'm about to show.
So come on, I know a lot of people. That was in the past. It was a couple of months ago that happened. Hey, by the way, he doesn't look like the guy. They say
No, look
that's
at
the
this
guy.
mouth.
That's not the guy. So Tyler J. Robinson, that's not the guy. You think that's the
Jimmy,
guy? You think these are the same people?
do you still have the file of when last time we showed this and I said someone should check into all the shootings? And somebody did and sent the files of all the searches. And guess what? Guess what repeating pattern happens of trending before the shooting, someone searching the shooter. Every single one since 2007 you ever heard of. It's in that file I sent you. Not only that, the New Jersey drones, same thing. Sudden surge in searches of
psyops, left, right, and centre. A lot of people have claimed this for a long time. Like, to be honest, they have. A lot of people have claimed for a long time, but all the stuff in the media is bullshit and fake. And from the Boston bombings, there was a guy called PK, Australian, funny guy as well, real funny guy. Completely blew open the Boston bombings, and how all that was a very staged event. There was no bombs. It was all crisis actors. A guy called PK Truth, if you can find his channel, but I'm pretty damn sure he was blocked and deleted by YouTube many times for exposing what he was, and I'm pretty sure he's gone now, and he's not on YouTube anymore, but he was hilarious and literally blew the Boston bombings wide open. There was no... We were totally psyoped. It was bullshit, and that guy literally proved it. But all the footage of all the proof of everything he done, some of it real funny as well. It's all gone, so you can't watch it anymore. YouTube got rid of it because he was exposing a massive psyop, to be honest. Then it looks like everything goes the same way. This guy here is saying the trend is before every shooting from since 2007, I think he said, or 2002, I think he said, I can't remember what she said. People have been searching the shooter and the places before the actual events happened. So that's very suspicious. That's absolutely very suspicious. It's a fucking red flag. It's a fucking... it's a smoking gun. It's a smoking gun. So... dodginess, the world's a stage. I keep saying that to people as well. The world is a stage is a very important saying, because you're being played on so many levels. It's unbelievable. Absolutely played in like levels you wouldn't even believe exist at times. These people are fucking lying to you about. So there's more.
the shooter and whatever.
Yeah, before.
What happens a lot.
Before.
Dude,
So,
Audrey Hale, I'd name a shooting.
You guys have heard.
I want to show you. Here's one more, little more on this Google searches. Watch this.
You guys have heard. Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action.
That's the medical examiner. It is a woman named Dr. Deidre Weiss Amaro, and she blew in from California. She was announced as the new state medical examiner in May of 2024. So I'm interested in learning as much as I can about this medical examiner. I'd like to know more about this medical examiner.
You know who else wanted to know more about Dr. Deidre Amaro? It's our friends over there in the state of Israel. But check out this date, June 30th, 2025. A sudden spike in the interests of the head medical examiner of the state of Utah, Dr. Deidre Amaro, emanating from, once again, the state of Israel, for reasons unknown. What about Timpanogos Regional Hospital, the hospital where Charlie Kirk was declared dead? Well, there's pretty much no interest in Timpanogos Regional Hospital in the state of Israel, because why would there be? Except this spike that happened about a month before Charlie Kirk's death. That is very odd. And it was a surgeon from this hospital that told us that Charlie Kirk was a quote-unquote man of steel, and that his body stopped a bullet that would typically just go through everything, and it was an absolute miracle. We don't know yet which surgeon supposedly said that, but here are a few surgeons who work at Timpanogos Regional Hospital. We got Dr. Stephen Nealman, Dr. Robert Patterson, Dr. Lee Peterson, Dr. Lee Trotter, just to name a few. I wonder if anybody was searching for these folks.
Stephen Nealman, July 18th, 2025. This was that of our friends on the other side of the planet over there. Very curious about the surgeons in Utah, you'll find out. Robert Patterson, MD, July 23 and 24. I go to the next one, Lee Trotter, someone with an IP address originating in Israel, looking up Surgeon Lee Trotter, near about that same.
So we're getting a mention of Israel here. Candice Owens has been going on about Israel since the very beginning. To be honest, she pretty much pulled that out of the hat very, very early on, that she thought Israel had some involvement in it, and it was due to the fact that Charlie Kirk wouldn't take donations. 150 million was labelled. He wouldn't take 150 million off an Israeli donor because of what they were wanting him to say, and he wants to say what he wants, so he didn't take the money. Very shortly later, he's assassinated in public. Turning Point UK has made a lot of money in Charlie Kirk's death, over 400 million, I believe. Is 150 million of that the original 150 million that Charlie Kirk turned down, and has it been accepted in his death now? I mean, the thing here for Candice Owens anyway, say, because it's Candice Owens that's really pushing this from what I've seen, and will not believe that Charlie Kirk, the official story, which is fair play, because it does look like it's a load of bullshit, to be honest. But I think if Candice Owens is genuine here and genuinely trying to expose this, and is genuinely not in on it, as pretty much everybody else seems to be, and she's not just part of the psyop, she's on very dangerous ground here. We've got to remember that Charlie Kirk was assassinated live. This man is dead. He's gone. He's no longer with us. These people have killed him. He's gone. So yeah, you're playing a very dangerous game. Somebody has actually been murdered, and murdered for an agenda, to be honest. Murdered for two reasons, I would imagine. It's either because he wouldn't take money off Israel and support Israel, or he's been murdered for a bigger agenda. And personally, I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bigger agenda. So much coming down the line with Charlie Kirk's death, and Turning Point UK and Erica Kirk. They're all being sort of set up for something bigger down the line, if you ask me. Something bigger's going to come of it. And it's all a big psyop, but it's not finished yet. That there's a lot more to go. We're the trial of Lado, Tyler Robinson to come. It's far very, very not finished yet. But in terms of what am I trying to say? In terms of Charlie Kirk's death and the effect of Charlie Kirk's death and the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's death, it's not finished yet. Something bigger's coming from all this down the line, is what I'm saying. But again, there's been searches here from Israel, from Washington DC. It stinks to high heaven. You've got the FBI completely ignoring everything and just going with the official narrative. Donald Trump as well. Donald Trump, there's no mention that the official narrative is in any way, shape or form not what's happened from the top there, which looks like it's bollocks to everybody else. So that's kind of proof that Trump and the government and the FBI and everybody kind of in the media is all involved in this psyop. It's kind of proof of that. So again, for Candice Owens, should she not just be playing the other side of the coin and doing it as part of the psyop? She's in a lot of danger, to be honest, because Charlie Kirk is dead, and they killed him for a reason, and that reason is falling to bits if exposed, that it's all bollocks. So again, I think if Candice is genuine, she's in a lot of danger. She's in a lot of danger, but would killing her now just not completely blow the lid off everything as well? Maybe, unless she died in a car crash or something like that, do you know what I mean? But even then, I think a lot of us wouldn't believe the car crash scenario with Princess Diana all over again, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think she's in. Should she be genuine, she is in a grave amount of danger, because Charlie Kirk has been assassinated. It is looking a lot like it's been done more for like a big psyop and a big agenda than for any other reason, to be honest. But I mean, all this could be part of it as well. Like, that's the thing, like leaking this information and pointing it towards Israel. It could be part of the plan. Do you know what I mean? And maybe all this is falsified. We don't know. That's the beauty of it. As dodgy as this looks, we can't verify that it to definitely be true. That's the problem, or for me anyway. And you've got to realize as well that this is also a perfect way of blaming Israel for what's gone on. And I'm not saying it isn't Israel. Like, it very well could be Israel and Mossad, and they get up to all sorts. No doubt about it. But at the same time, we could be getting played by the information. The information could have been leaked on purpose to point towards Israel. You know what I mean? It could be Hamas propaganda for all we know. And it's just pointing the finger at Israel. So I don't know. I don't know personally. That's the problem. But I take everything with a pinch of salt as well. And it looks very damning for Israel, obviously, as we can see. But could we just be getting psyops to turn on Israel? You know what I mean? Like, that's another thing you've got to consider here. Again, I mentioned in the video yesterday that it doesn't go well for the people who seem to turn on Israel. You know what I mean? Again, we're living in the devil's world. Is it just all a psyop to turn people on Israel? Again, I don't know. But keep it in mind, keep your mind open, you know what I mean? Don't just condemn Israel on this information, because A, we don't know this information to definitely be true. But as well, turning you on Israel seems to be a kind of the game in many ways. So, especially from sort of in Iran, Hamas, from that side of the fence, they want you to turn on Israel. So propaganda could exist from these people to turn you on Israel, is my point. So I'll be very wary of what we know and what we learn and what we hear and what we believe as well. It's a dodgy game again. The lies are rife all over the shop, to be honest. So again, just be wary that it's not a thing to turn you on Israel by the fucking Muslims, to be honest. The Hamas propaganda network, you know what I mean, which extends to Iran and everybody who are against Israel. But I don't know. It maybe as very much as saying all that, it could very much have been Israel that killed Charlie Kirk. I don't know.
Same July 20 time period. Are there other surgeons in the area? Yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. There's a guy named Lee Patterson. So I look up Lee Patterson. Somebody with an IP address originating in Israel. In the week of July 20, that week on either side of July 20, was very interested in all the people who practice surgery at Timpanogos Regional Hospital in Orem, Utah.
So yeah, I don't know. We can either believe that there just happened to be a few people in the state of Israel in the month of July and August who were very interested in finding out more about a certain...
Yeah, but they were just in the state of Israel as well. It doesn't necessarily mean, well, it's more likely, but it doesn't absolutely mean that it was the Jews, I suppose, just because they were in Israel. From what I know, Israel it's multicultural, is it not? And they all kind of mix there, and the Wailing Wall and the Temple Mount. Is it? From what I recall, I think both Jews and Muslims go to Israel at the same time. It's just there's no beef there due to all the security and the cameras and the guns. Is kind of because it's I'm sure on the Temple Mount it's a mosque on the Temple Mount, is it not? But the Wailing Wall is a spot for the Christians, if I'm recalling everything right there. So just because it was in Israel as well, it maybe doesn't necessarily mean that it was an Israeli is the other side of it. I'm not saying it wasn't again, but I don't know. But from my understanding, Israel isn't just the Jews. I think the Muslims are in there as well. This is the news anyway. But again, I'm taking a little bit of pinch of salt as well, because other factors, to be honest, other factors. I mean, no, long it looks real bad. It looks real bad for Israel. It looks real bad. People are searching in DC, which kind of basically looks like it's a U.S. Israel government joint operation of some form in some way. The American government aren't saying a peep about what's gone on, or the FBI not questioning the narrative. So it all looks very dodgy. It all looks very dodgy indeed. Um, but again, it's very hard to point fingers at people because it's just Google searches in an area, and all that really for me, you're thinking governmental Israel and America, but we don't know. We don't know.
Regional hospital in the state of Utah and who the state's head medical examiner was, and the different surgeons in the area. Or maybe there's just one too many coincidences to not investigate further. Oh, and by the way, I just checked what Google Trends looks like now, and yeah, looks like absolutely nothing to see here, guys.
Your search doesn't have enough data. So now it seems like they've scrubbed it.
Mhm.
You can't make those searches. Wow.
They just now figured that out. Again, I have the file I sent to you, dude. All the other ones, the same thing happens before these major PR shootings. The same thing happens, and they haven't scrubbed those. Oh, the guy who sent it to me got searched by Tel Aviv after sending it, and so did I.
That's kind of
I
amazing.
sent all of it to you.
So there's more. So if the amount of hatred that is coming towards people who are asking legitimate, logical questions is overwhelming. The people who are getting paid $7,000 per post by Israel on places like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, they're out in full force. They're out there to slander and silence anybody, just like the Seth Rich thing. So just like when I asked normal questions about Seth Rich's it's an unsolved murder investigation, I asked normal questions a reporter would ask. They put me in a hit piece in the Washington Post calling me a conspiracy theorist. And then we find out 4 or 5 years later that the FBI's been lying about having Seth Rich's laptop, and they won't release his laptop contents for 65 years. So now you know the rest of the story, don't you? That this was some kind of conspiracy by the government or people powerful inside the government to kill Seth Rich and cover it up. And why? To send a message, because he leaked that information about the illegal stuff that the Clinton campaign was doing in 2016. He leaked it to Wikipedia, or not to WikiLeaks. So that's the same thing. So whenever people, so we're going to get, there's more to that coming because there's been a huge gag order put on this case by the judge. So now let me do this. So speaking of the judge in the Charlie Kirk the Robinson case, get this. So breaking news: Tyler Robinson trial. Tony Graff, who's the judge selected to preside over the Charlie Kirk assassination trial, and the judge he replaced, Robert Lunin, were both subject of unique Google searches from Israeli IP addresses before the assassination.
So was I.
So they're searching the rifle. They're searching Tyler Robinson. They're searching the hospital he was brought to, which, remember, was not the closest hospital with a trauma center. They took him to a regional hospital. They Google searched the head of the of surgery at that hospital. All the surgeons at that, they Google searched all of them, plus the judges. Isn't that interesting? Let's see.
That's to check the social footprint, So afterward, when the sleuths look, what if anything's been like taken off, but they forgot the trending thing.
So this was before the assassination, July 26th and May 15th, respectively. Neither was the subject of any searches in Utah until after the assassination. So nobody Google searched any of these people in Utah until after the assassination. But they were Google searching all these people in D.C. and Israel before the assassination, including the Lovi Center, including the gun, the rifle they say was used. Isn't that interesting? So Judge Lumen retired August 1st, and Judge Graff assumed his duties on August 4th. Or about the same day, Mahadab Saeed, the special agent in charge of the Salt Lake City FBI field office, was removed. Remember that? They also removed the head of the FBI in Salt Lake City in Utah right before. Isn't that interesting? Just a bunch of coincidences, huh? Just a bunch of... There's more. There's more.
Yeah, I mean, it looks real bad, but again, that's kind of like not Israel, is it? That's like the American government doing all this, and for me, the American government is definitely involved in this, and when Trump was with Erica Kirk, and he knows Erica, and the same boo about the narrative and neither of the FBI. So to me, without doubt, we've totally got the American government involved here. The Israeli thing, I'm 50-50 because at the same time it could just be trying to blame Israel, but the other 50 it could have been Israel, and it could be to do with the donors that he wouldn't take money from. But then, is that Israel the state of Israel? That's just some Jews that he wouldn't take money off, possibly. So it's a very... You've got to be careful what who you're pointing the finger at. Do you know what I mean? And pointing the finger at sort of Benjamin Netanyahu and Mossad, when it might not be them, it could just be very rich Jews who wanted to obviously pay Charlie Kirk money to say certain things or go a certain way, and he wouldn't, so they murdered him. But at the same time, that's not definitely the state of Israel that's murdered Charlie Kirk. So again, I can't just point the finger at the complete country of Israel. Do you know what I mean? Because we don't really have enough information as to what exactly has happened here, and is it the state of Israel and Mossad that took out Charlie Kirk? And I would suggest no. But with how it's been done and how it's been pulled off, no, because I think Mossad would do a better job of it, to be honest. Like, that's the other side of it. I think Mossad would have pulled this off without everybody getting so weirded out by it all in many ways. Like, I don't know, could be wrong. Again, all them people of Charlie Kirk's security team could have all been Mossad, for all I know. Apparently they were all Israelis. That is a crack. They were all Israelis, and from what we've seen, they made no attempt to protect him. So it's very dodgy. It's absolutely very dodgy, and without any shadow of a doubt, I'll say that. And the finger is pointing towards Israel. But again, it's a very broad statement. It's a very, like, you know what I mean? Israel's an entire country. That a country hasn't killed Charlie Kirk. Someone within that country has done something. But that's a person. To blame the entire state of Israel and all the Jews, again, is harsh. It's like trying to blame them for Gaza, these Jews in synagogues in Manchester. It's not their fault of Benjamin Netanyahu and what the Israeli government do. Do you know what I mean? So where you throw your blame as well, you just be careful. Like, be careful. But to me, I think we can kind of definitely say the American government and Trump's involved in this. I think that can be said. But I don't think we can point the finger at Israel, the state of Israel, and all the Jews, is my point. I think we need to find out within that number who's involved, but you can't blame an entire country for this. You know what I mean? It's not like all the Jews' fault, or it's somebody within Israel has possibly done this, but who, we don't know. So more information needed, really. But again, I kind of think the American government's definitely involved, and the Israeli government could be, for all I know. But again, it's just that's not really proof of the Israeli government. Somebody searching it from Israel is my point. So we'll wait and see. Well, more will unfold, I would imagine. More information will come out, but again, it looks real dodgy. Searches from DC, from Israel, so it's definitely a setup. You know what I mean? It's not none of this is real with the Tyler Robinson crack. All this is bullshit. It's definitely being used for a bigger agenda. Charlie Kirk didn't accept money off somebody. That's been flying around as well. But again, none of this is hard evidence of anything. So you've just got to be very careful, because again, you could the whole point of this is a lie. I mean, this could be just the pushing the lie out. You know what I mean? You played a very, very fucked up game here, to be honest. I mean, there's a fella died. Charlie Kirk actually died in what I'm calling a fucked up game. Do you know what I mean? And to the people doing this, that's what it is. And Charlie Kirk meant nothing. They're not bothered that they murdered him live on TV in front of loads of people. They're not bothered. They done that. They done that and murdered him in public. So you kind of, this is the level of, I mean, these are probably the same people who killed John F. Kennedy. You know what I mean? Like, you're playing a serious game where life and death is part of the game to these people. But in the aftermath of it all, like, it's just like I have to leave the possibility open that we're being played again. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, you don't realize how often we get played, and if you take everything at face value all the time, you honestly you'll have had 18 COVID vaccines. Do you know what I mean? And all this kind of crack. So you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt, not just what the mainstream media says. Like, everything until it's absolutely factually proved. You've got, and just a search from Israel doesn't prove it to be the state of Israel. Like, do you know what I mean? Is all I'm saying. And could we just be being turned on Israel as part of another psyop? It's a possibility. So I just got to keep my mind open, to be honest, and wait and see what more information comes. But I can't condemn the entire state of Israel and all the Jews because somebody in Israel searched Charlie Kirk and then the doctors in the hospitals and stuff, if everyone gets what I'm saying. But it looks real dodgy. And I think without any shadow of a doubt, we can definitely say that the American government and Donald Trump is involved in this. So we'll wait and see where it goes. More information's coming out. We've got the trial coming up. It's far, 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 far from finished, this. Definitely not. So we'll keep an eye on it. But that's the news. That's the current news about searches. But again, be careful what you do with the information and what you say about them, because again, it's not Israel, is it? Like, just because somebody in Israel has searched it, that doesn't mean it's the state of Israel that's ordered his assassination. It could have been rich Jews within Israel who were trying to get him to say certain things, wouldn't take the money, so they've killed him, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's Israel's fault, it's some rich Jew's fault, do you know what I mean? Again, I don't know, but we can't point the finger till we know is another thing, really. But it very well could have been Israel. I'm not completely defending Israel to the hilt here. I just don't know. And again, how everything's been pitching this, how everybody's pitching it. Everybody kind of just now pointing the finger straight at Israel again, but it's, as I've mentioned many times in this video, Israel's a big country with a lot of people in it, you know what I mean? And the actual country itself can't order the murder of anybody. It would have to be Netanyahu or somebody, you know what I mean? So we need to blame the right people, not an entire country, nation, and all the people who are Jewish, is my point. So I'll leave it there anyway. Peace. That's the news. We'll keep. I'll keep more. The more that comes out, we'll bring it forth and see where we are. But we're definitely in a shit show. We're definitely in a shit show. And again, a man lost his life. Charlie Kirk lost his life in this shit show. That's the bad. That's the what's the word? The fucked up part of it all. Like, that's it. That's how bad this world is. A man died, and we're all now fishing round here, trying to figure out how and why and who and everything, because we live in such a fucked up world that well, yeah, we live in such a fucked up world. I'll just leave it there. Peace.